How's that sound now? Watch him get out. Run, run. I love it. What's up, guys? Um, yeah, I didn't have sound. I was trying to figure out my light. I was getting this weird bleed. Let me do it back. I'll show you. Getting this weird bleed over here. See how that shows up on the side? I needed to adjust that light just a little bit to get it to give me a nice even color. I try not to be, visually offensive. I can't do nothing about my looks, but I can mess with the light. Guys, what's up? Everybody in the house tonight, and Boney Jeff is over there chilling out with the kicker subwoofer. Let's see. We got who all's in here? Bobby B. Bobby B's in the house. Dubby's in the house. Let's see here. Dubby said, "Good night, good night." Franco Quade's in the house. Rob Richards. What's up, man? Yeah, I had a good time. I got a little hot and had to bail. Um, and I was running out of gas in the Tahoe. I was going to get gas before the show, but I got so screwed up trying to get to the damn event area because of that road closure on the interstate there that I didn't stop to get gas. So I was running out of gas and I was getting hot and I had to bail, man. It is what it is. Um, Franco Quaid said I hadn't handled sound. Yeah, I had the mic turned off earlier. Corn Nuts in the house. Bobby B is in the house. Jason Ewing is in the house. Man, you guys are all here. Nice to see everybody today. Guys, I wanted to talk a little bit about the channel. So let me go over here. I'm gonna give you. Most YouTubers are not going to do this. Okay, this is something that only a few of us actually do. But I'm going to show y'all something. So give me just 1 second here to get this to functioning, and we're going to look at my analytics page. This is what is going on behind the scenes from my YouTube channel. Right now, it's showing for the month of July. Okay, this is from July the 1st to the 31st. All of this information is going to be based on what I have clicked over here, right? So in the month of July, I had 79,000 79.6 thousand views, 621,000 impressions. What that means is 621,000 times somebody saw one of my videos, and 79,000.6 times they clicked on it. That gives me this ratio right here, which is called your click-through rate. The higher this number is, the better. 5 is considered good. 10 is amazing. Anything below about 5 or everything below 5 is actually pretty bad. This is your average view time. This is important metrics for us guys. And that's all it's videos. And shorts have their own thing, and lives have their own thing as well. And that's a click-through rate. So people see it and don't watch it. There's 3% of the people that see it watch it. That's how that makes sense. And that's the average view duration. So most people pop in and watch for 5 minutes and say, screw this guy, he's an idiot, and they leave. And that's cool, because 95% bail, but the other 5%, whatever, stick around. But I wanted to show, my podcast. I really do well in the podcast. Look at this. In the last 30 days, my podcast, which has 360 videos in it, has had 49,000 views in the last 30 days. So it does pretty good, man. And both of these two, this is my main one right here. I put, talking stuff in there. But that means they went to the podcast and viewed it from there. But I wanted to show you guys something I'm really happy about. Oh, let me show you something else. So in the community tab, right? This is what I see whenever I pull up. This is every post that everybody posts on every single video. They're all right here. Now I can sort these by filter. So if I go in here and do a response status, which is what I normally do, and I click on unresponded, and then any comment that has not been responded to will show up. So this guy here I just had this video right here. This comment hasn't been responded to. So I can see that. Man, appreciate it, bro. They did the trick. So I usually give them a thumbs up and a heart. And then whenever I refresh that, if that same thing is showing, see, it won't show anything, right? But so if you guys are posting comments, if you post a new comment, I'll see it. But if it's a response to a response, like a sequence of comments, I won't notice that necessarily. Then I have to go in here and change that, and I'll show you what happens then. I want you to understand, because you guys like to talk in the comments, and I love it, but I want you to understand what is happening when you do that, what I'm seeing, and why I may or may not see your comment. So if we go back to this and select response status, then if I put unresponded and new replies to my response, okay? Now this is going to be, if you've continued the conversation like this, it's going to show up. So anybody that's left, like this comment here, this last part has not been responded to. Even if I give it the thumbs up and the heart, it's still considered unresponded to, which means that if this guy posts another comment, I'm not going to get an alert for it, right? And going through and trying to, even though I finished that conversation, right? This was a conversation was over with. They don't go away. Guys, the comments is insane. Okay. So if you want to make sure that I see your comment, make it a new comment, not a response to someone else's comment. If you do that, just know that I may not see it. It may take me a while before I see it. But that's not why we're here. I want to show you guys this. So we're going to do something here, and this is something I'm really impressed by. I'm pulling up how much money I make off of YouTube. This is straight up. I'm showing you my paycheck. Okay. Not everybody's going to do that, and it's not wanting to refresh right now. What it does is it shows the last 30 days, last 28 days. Okay, but this right here, I got it set for July. In July, the check that I'll be getting here in about 10 days or 11 days is for this amount right here. I'll get this amount right here. Okay, $594. Now, my normal check, like the check before that one, let's go back to June, is less than that. So the reason, see, that's what I normally bring in from YouTube right there, $427. So it's usually between 400 and 450. But this last month, you guys hit me so hard with donations in chat and the live show that you kicked me up another $150 for the month. And the reason I'm saying this is I want to say thank you for that. That was huge because that's helping me tremendously right now, keeping up with the stuff I have to pay. And my subscriber count, as you guys have noticed, it's gone up. So let's go back to, this right here shows the monthly deal. That is views per month. If I look at estimated revenue, you can see what my average revenue is right here. This is my revenue for the months. Okay, as we go back, and this month for July is the highest amount of revenue I've made for YouTube since I've been doing this, and counting my other channel that I had before years back, that for a very long time, this has been the highest revenue month that I've had from YouTube, and it's all thanks to you guys that are in the live chat right now, pretty much. So, and the other thing is, we're up to 53,221 subscribers right now, and things are looking pretty good. If I go into my content, I have distant views on my content. I've got 35,000, 34,000, 20,000, 17,000, 15,000, 9,000. These are all good, solid things. But anyway, I wanted to mainly, I just wanted to show you guys all that stuff. I wanted y'all to understand why I do what I do. Now, I don't mind. I'm a public figure. I mean, just face it. That's what I am. As far as this is what I do. This is how I get paid. So there's no sense in trying to keep anything a secret. And besides that, you can just go to Social Blade and look at my channel, and you can get some of that information there. Not all of it, but some of it. So yeah, if you want to know what a guy's doing on YouTube, how much he's making, all that stuff, just head over to Social Blade, put in the name of the channel, and then you're going to get a range. And it's usually toward the upper part of that range. If it says he makes $500 a month, or he makes between $100 and $500 a month, it's probably going to be the 500. It's going to be closer to that number. The higher number is where you're typically going to be accurate. So let's go back up here. Now I also, let me see here. Was on 60K, 600K. It was me on 600K. Yeah. Okay. So Jason said, let's see here. Jason, what's up? Sub Dino Man is in the house. So Jason said, I used to get emails whenever someone commented after me. I set it up like that. Then they just stopped. Yeah, I know, dude. The world of tech, man, for whatever reason, every freaking company they all feel like they constantly need to change shit because that's what needs to happen. It needs to be different. So they can, the way I think of it is there are people sitting around that have nothing to do. They're getting paid a big ass salary and like, what'd you do this month? Oh, nothing. So they're like, okay, well, we'll just make a new interface for it and change some shit around just so we can say we did something. That's what I think happens. Because what they're changing is unnecessary. I got new banking software. The banking, I hate that, man. Because I get so used to going boop, boop, boop and getting through the stuff to get to what I want, and then they'll totally change where it's at and how you get to it. They add this extra page to when you got to click through this and click through that. And come on, dude, leave this shit alone. It was fine 10 years ago. And then you changed it like 3 or 4 times, and I finally get used to it, and then you change it again. I'm like, why? Come on. Um, it's a horrible situation. Subdano man said that's awesome. Thank you. It's just what you're looking at is a pile of blood, man. It's a puddle of blood. That's what it is. Okay. Um, you're gonna bleed, right? Just make it count. Uh, whatever energy you're pouring into something, make it pile up. Make it actually give you something back from it. That's the hardest part. And I try my best to keep this channel as car audio related as I can. But let's face it, guys, we represent a tiny amount of people on the planet. And so I have to be diversified to a degree just so I can keep an income coming in. So when you guys see random videos, you're like, what the hell is this? That's what it is. I'm trying to make money, man. Um, I don't pour, like I said, I don't do the ball shaver ads in the middle of my videos and stuff, and I believe me, I have got tons of options. I get tons of opportunities to do all kinds of ads. But I don't do them. Jason said, "How's it comparing to the old 29,000 channel?" Oh, I topped out at like $130, $150 a month on that channel. I had like 12,000 subscribers. I had like the part that I don't like the most. Okay, I hate alienating my subscribers. That's one big one because it's a lot of subscribers. But the part that hurts the most about losing that isn't the income. It's all the content that I had up on there. And I had like 1,200 videos that dated back to like 2004, 2003. I had a lot of content that I would love to have access to right now to be able to put up for you guys. And I don't have it. And that sucks. Um, a lot of my subscribers found me again. So that's cool. The other thing is a lot of those subscribers were based off of the trucking content that I uploaded. So they wouldn't necessarily be interested in what I'm doing now. So it's probably better that most of those guys aren't here. Is my other page making money yet? Negative, Batman. It's a build. It's a process. So I'm steadily putting content up there. But let's see here. I got 2 of them actually. This is one. That's one. And I've got another one that's kind of slipping in there behind it. And this one. Both of those 2 are my other channels that I've got active right now. And I hadn't decided on exactly how I'm playing that all yet. But we'll see how it goes. I'm just trying to build up enough. I got enough subscribers. I got to build up watch time and then kind of figure out where I'm going with that. And I'm just trying to build up some bases so that I can turn them into something. And I ain't decided on what, but they're just kind of getting stuff pumped into them right now. The key to making this work is create content. The rest of it comes in time. Maybe a little bit of time, maybe a whole lot of time, but you always content. That's the key to getting going. And so that's what I'm working on. Let's see here. So what I wanted to discuss, I hope I didn't miss anybody's questions. If I skipped over a question anywhere. I wanted to show you guys that, and I wanted to say thank you for making last month a good month, and because I want to need it. um, I haven't found out about the scooter thing yet, but we're working on that. And once I know for sure, I honestly don't think that the insurance company is going to do it. So I'm going to wind up having to probably go. I'm probably going to wind up on Facebook Marketplace and buying a used one. And I don't really have a problem with that because I'm going to mod it anyway. I mean, of course I am. I'll probably put a trunk under lithium on it. I have some serious power, baby. We ain't gonna mess around with no crappy batteries. No, hell no. Might even put a radio on it, but I can't do too much because it still has to be easy to load in and out, and stuff. Super lightweight and reliable and whatnot. Um, Subdino Man said, "Me too." So I've been at it since 2012. 13 rotary bug. Had a VW with a Mazda 13B rotary and other engines. That's cool. Is your channel? What's your channel's name? Is it 13 rotary 13B rotary bug? Is that the name of the channel, or is it Sub Dino Man? Uh, Hang on a minute. Let me see. Because I'm a dumbass and I ain't got no damn sense. Oh no, that's not what I said. Wow. Um, that's what I said. Okay, it's Subdino Man. Gotcha. So yeah, I'll toss you a sub. Uh, it's nice, but the first thing, and I like the name, but it doesn't. It could use a little bit of flavor. It could use something a little bit more directed toward what the channel's about. Consider that a little bit. You want your name to come up as a search term. So if somebody is searching for a thing, one of the results will be your channel. That's yeah, something to think about. So but that's why I went with car audio enthusiast. It's a common term, and you know, I figured it worked pretty good. It's got car audio in it, which means it's going to come up under car searches. It's going to come up with audio searches. It's going to come up with car audio and audio enthusiast and all that together. It's it's got it feeds a good amount of branches for the search engine to grab hold of. Just throwing that out there. What you do is your jam, baby, and that's all it is. You can, if you've got super killer content that's getting hit hard, you're going to get, it no matter what name you use, they're going to latch on to you, right? But getting started, if you don't have some, wicked viral video to start pulling people in to get them to where they know the name Sub Dino Man, um, it makes it difficult to get that traction initially. So, uh, so like Parker used to be Parker DeShill. It was his name. It's a good name, and he was doing pretty good because he had some killer content. But then when he changed it to Parker the Basehead, it's a little bit more pulling him in, a little bit more interesting for people. Franco Quaid said, "I live in St. Mary's County, Maryland. Places you can get crutches, medical beds, and scooters." Yeah. Yeah, we have Bach Medical Center and places. The problem with those places is they they're used to getting insurance money, so they charge insurance prices, which means, a lot more than, like, I can go to Walmart.com and buy a scooter for like 400 or 500 bucks. And that may be what happens, but I've seen some better deals on Facebook Marketplace. What would be cool is I could find something that maybe the batteries are crapped out and they'll sell it really stupid cheap, because I can replace that. Maybe the wiring is jacked up. I can replace all that. I can fix all that shit. As long as it's got a good motor and good wheels and the frame is solid, I can make everything else work. Oh yeah, I put a 10K on them. Oh, Budget Base Head sent me. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted with the comments. Let's see here. For free? Oh, really? Yeah, no, we don't have nothing like that here, man. They wouldn't be anything in there but maybe a crutch, and a single broken crutch would be all to be up in there. Our economy in this area is not as all right. So a place like that in a town or a chunk of town with a fairly high income bracket in that area would be able to hold stock, because they wouldn't be getting inundated by people. But, in a lower income area, it basically would just always be empty. But that's cool. That would be cool. And I'm glad that some places have that opportunity for people. I got you. So 13V rotary is a green Volkswagen. Hell yeah. Yeah, I got you, bud. A rotary VW Bug sounds pretty freaking cool. We had, when I was a youngster, one of my friends' uncle had a VW with a Porsche engine in it. And he wrecked it. I mean, he had it out. It ran for a while, but then he totaled it. So it was sitting in the yard totaled for a long, long, long time. But I got to see it before it got totaled, and yeah, it just get it. It was a wicked car, man. Yeah, I got you, boss. Hostile hair. That's scary. Hostile hair. What's up, man? He said, "What's up, CAE?" I like it. Scooters are hard to get. They put you on a waiting list. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, we don't have that option here, man. I wish we did. That'd be pretty cool. So today, I haven't put the video up yet. I'm not even sure if I'm going to or not. I may just talk about it tonight. But over the weekend, yesterday, let's say, while I was at the show, I managed to blow up my fans. Yeah, they just come apart. One of them did. It wasn't the stuff that I built. The fan. I don't know how it's. The blades are not exactly like the fan blades. Just came off of the fan. It separated into multiple pieces and was just sort of flowing around in there. So I'm going to have to redo the fan situation. And I found also, when after that happened, I got the feeling of the other three that were still there. Reach in there and touch the front of that thing. Those things were absolutely scalding hot on my finger. The plastic nose part of the fan, right? You couldn't keep your finger on that. You would pull your finger back off. It was too hot to keep your finger on it. Ridiculously hot. And I got to thinking, well, why would they be so hot? Well, okay, maybe they're up against the amps and stuff. The amps are going to add some heat to them. But still, I mean, they literally blow in air. They should be able to cool themselves. But I got to thinking about it as well. These are rated at 12 volts. They're rated at 7 volts to 13.5 volts. I'm pushing them at closer to 15 volts, 14.8, 14.7. And so they're really getting some power put to them. I'm like, well, I gotta work on figuring out um, how to how to put in a fan that'll handle the voltage. So I want to rebuild. The Big Booty Judy is getting a rebuild, which was already going to do that anyway. And I'm probably going to use a bigger fan, either a 120s, either like 3 or 4 120s or two 200 millimeter fans. I figured out that I can use 200s. That's the biggest, but I can only use two of them. That's around 14. That's around 7 by 14 inches. Two of them side by side, which is about the biggest I could put in there. That'll cover the whole stack. Uh, that'll cover from the top of the amp to the bottom, and then from the wall up to the top of the top amp. It won't go over it, out past it, but it'll go right to the edge. Um, Subdino Man said in 2014 I had 3 Porsche 914 motors. Had to give them away. Oh man, that sucks, dude. Um, Assuming cause, yes, I am. I am DJ Hertz, but it depends on. There's actually, I think there's actually another one out there, but yeah, if you think I'm DJ Hertz, then you're probably looking at the right one. So yes, the merch ads, yes, in the in my list, yes, that's me. Step down voltage work for the fans. El Fuego, El Fuego said, "What's up, man?" El Fuego from the Pacific Northwest and from the bed. Apparently, he just passed out. Probably passed out in his recliner. Uh, nice to see you made it. You guys are so awesome. Will a voltage step down work for the fans? Probably. What I want to find is I'm going to do some more digging. I'm going to try to find some fans that are I need them to be that fiberglass reinforced plastic because the heat in there is pretty extreme. I mean, I need to get something that's going to handle the heat. Um, yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out, man. I don't know, but maybe that is one possible option. Jason, what's up, man? Wyoming parallel series to get 7 volts. Yeah, that is a. Maybe would that work? Hang on a minute. Yeah, that would bring the voltage down to 7.5. It'd be that, but they wouldn't be producing the air volume that I'm looking for. That is a possibility, though. I could do a series parallel, do 4 of them, and I could do 4 of them. I could also use resistors or something too. Just I don't know. It's just a. Right now we're still in the thinking stage, but it's a good idea, man. I consider all ideas as good ideas. Just down regulate the voltage with a step down. Yeah. Mm, huh. Blown fuse. Okay. That's your desktop account. Gotcha, boss. Um, so the other thing besides the fan incident, it's an incident. Is I'm noticing a lot of flex in my roof. And I've got, I mean, if you get in there right now and just wail on it, the roof feels like you're hitting a solid piece of furniture. It doesn't move. But subwoofers don't care about that concept. They're going to make it move anyway. So I'm pondering doing double stripper poles. And I got the mad scientist. He's a fabricator. So I think I'm going to have him. This is my thoughts right now. There's still thoughts, but if I go this route, I'm going to have him manufacture me a couple of chains, welded chains to create my poles. And I want to have two stripper poles, one on each side of my console that goes up to the roof, so I can keep my center console without having to like have a pole going into the console. I want to put one on either side. That also allows my tablet to sit between them. I think that would be unique, and also it would work better for what I do. I still haven't figured out if that's actually going to work or not, but that's the idea that I'm cooking around in my skull right now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, a resistor might be the thing, because it's like, half an amp or an amp or something. Reflex, yeah. I've already got about an inch and a half of wood up there. If I go down anymore, it's going to start getting into there where you feel like your head's hitting the roof. And no, I don't want none of that shit. The only other option I have is tearing out that headliner completely and building it back from metal, which I would have done in the beginning, except for the fact that I have a sunroof up there. That sunroof has mechanism and all that stuff down below it, motors and shit. It comes down like that far, from the metal of the roof, and it's just a big chunk of mechanism up there. And I would have to build up on both sides of it and then span across it. And also, like, the way I got it figured is, if I go this route, just tear everything out of there and then leave the little bit up by the window for the pretty factor, and then build up stack layers, glue, plywood layers on both sides until I get it past the mechanism that holds the window in place. And then doing a first, like a 1/4 inch sheet across there so that I can encase that mechanism, filling it completely full of expandifoam, just packing it full of expandifoam all around that mechanism to keep it from moving. And then coming in with another 3/4 inch under there and gluing it all, stacking it up, building a box around the mechanism, and then filling that whole thing, and also getting in there and with whatever I need to, and locking that mechanism in place with some chunks and screws and things to make it stay put so that it doesn't move. And then, of course, after that, filling it all full of foam and then building below it. That's kind of what I got in my brain. I mean, I've been cooking this up, trying to come up with some kind of crazy potential idea. I don't know. On the back of a tractor, then you have something that's adjustable. Yes. And what I'm looking at is those are like turnbuckles, essentially. What I want to do is two chains, like I said, that run from the floor to ceiling, but down at the floor, they'll have a two directional threaded piece at the bottom that will allow me to adjust the bottom. So there'll still be some adjustment in there, but I want the visual of it. I think it would look sick, dude. Two freaking chains going from the roof to the floor. Who sees that, right? Who does that? That's crazy stuff. And I'm all about making it happen. Yeah, Jason called it. He says turnbuckle. That's it. If you ever watch wrestling and boxing, they always refer to the turnbuckle. That's what they use to tighten up the ring when they set the ring up. They have on the corners to crank it and shorten them so that they're the right. Yeah, they call the corner the turnbuckle. Bet you had like, oh wow, that's right, they do that. Yeah, most boxing rings are put together for an event and then taken down after the event, so they have to put them together and account for all that shit. Same thing with wrestling rings and stuff. Yeah. Oh, nice. Was that going to show up if I do that? Let me see this. Yeah, it did. uh, but yeah, I mean, I think it's cool. I could. I ain't sure how I would do it exactly yet, but see, think about it. I got the chains, man. They have all these links. I can, keychains and lanyards and all kind of stuff can attach to those things, and that creates a nice, cool visual. Whatever. So we're not. It'll look cool, be super strong, and have like an infinite amount of points to snap, clip, hang. Random stuff that I get in these events just to hang it up there on there and let them just bounce around and hang out. So it's got multiple purposes. What's up, man? T. Corley. The back of my cab is flexing like crazy. Also, the back of my box is too. I have another piece of wood I can cut to put on to double it up. There's not much room to put internal brace. Well, so here's the thing. Whenever I built this enclosure, you guys followed me, you know what I did. It was on an extreme budget. Everything I do is on an extreme budget. So I went with the engineering route rather than the throw money at it route. You can throw money at it. You can go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers thick. Okay. The thing is going to weigh 1,000,000 tons. It's going to be solid, but it's going to cost you 1,000,000 and it's going to weigh 1,000,000. And it's also going to be bulkier too. And then the other option is figuring out a way to make it rigid without piling on layers and making it super heavy. That's what I did. I went with the engineering route because knowledge doesn't cost anything. Wood does. So I went with edges. So on the inside, on the sides, I've got a piece that runs down the center that's on edge. It's just 3/4 inch that's glued and screwed to the sides of the box. And then it curves like this and it follows the corner and comes around and reinforces the baffle also. I should have made it curve on around and reinforce the port. I did not. That was a mistake. But having that piece come around on an angle there inside the front of the box allows my baffle to be supported on all the edges for each driver. So each 15 has got support. The baffle around each 15 is supported right around the subwoofer all the way around. So it's like essentially if you made a box for a single 15, you put the baffle in, and the box was just big enough for that 15 to fit into. That's what they've got on them. So that gives that baffle a lot of rigidity. And that same piece that supports it between them two goes over to the side and does the same thing for the side. Now, what I didn't reinforce the way I should have was the top and the bottom. The bottom, I wasn't, I should have been more. I should have done more with that. Didn't. And the top, not so much. I got like, on the top and bottom is basically just about 1.25 inches thick. Not that much. But on the back of the box, which is a large panel, I do have bracing that runs sideways, that runs negative, that runs on an angle. So this is the back of the box, right? I have boards that run like this, not like this, but like this, on the back of the box, about every 3 or 4 inches from top to bottom. They're glued and screwed. So the back has got good solid reinforcement. Now where I'm weak at, the sides do breathe a little bit. The top and bottom breathe some too. Probably more than I even know, more than I would like to know. But the port is the thing that's bothering me. I can hear the port breathe, even though it's not rattling. I can hear it breathe. It's moving. I got a brace in there. I need to do some more work in that port. So I need to do. Um, so yeah, it's just a constant fight, man. Alex Dancler. Always thank you for the knowledge and more importantly, your time. Thank you for your time and showing up for these live shows. Yeah, that's what I did in there was with arches in there. I should have done more, guys. I'm gonna tell you, man, when you're building the box, um, the thing is you want to get it done. And I was out there and it was cold. I mean, it was freaking cold. And I was having to struggle to get a day that was above freezing to where I could actually glue shit. So I was, and I was trying to have it ready for the season, which I did. But I was also scraping by for materials and stuff. But I'm going to tell you, when you're building your enclosure, take your time. Find the time to take. Make the time to take to do it right. You don't want to have to redo it, man. Um, take the time, make the time to do it right. If you need more money and it's like Friday and you already spent all your money on groceries and mama got a new hairdo, you know what I'm saying? And now you need, a couple sheets of plywood, but you ain't got two nickels to rub together. Wait till next Friday and get them. You know, uh, find some scrap or whatever. But the point is, take the time, make the time, because you're going to spend more of it trying to fix the shit that you should have done that you didn't do if you don't. That's a whole lot of tongue twisting, tongue tying, time talk. Try that one on for size. um, I should have ran. I should have ran a ridge. So the box is the top of the box, right? Like this. I should have ran a board like this across the top to add rigidity to it. The same thing on the bottom. I should have had a board running that way. Basically, if you're not going to use multiple layers, you want to use wood on the edge. 3/4 inch plywood on edge, glued and screwed, can create a tremendous amount of strength. And even just a 3/4 inch thick box, having that honeycomb effect of those boards turned sideways, creating that ridge, that strength. That's a lot of strength, man. Um, oh God, that would be fucked up, dude. Um, Cardboard, an SPL box. It's specific about the SPL box. Um, oh man, that would that would be extreme. I tell you what, I would take. I'm gonna throw a challenge at you. I'm gonna throw a more reasonable challenge at you. Make an SPL box out of 1/4 inch Luan with one layer thick. Can't do more than one layer thick. And set yourself a goal to keep it under a certain weight. I don't know what that weight would be. Because that way you can't just, make it complete like nothing but solid braces and stuff. Like you can actually have to keep it under a weight. So maybe make it for a 6.5, this little 6.5 inch subwoofer on 500 watts, and finished has to be under a specific weight. And you can't use anything but single layers of 1/4 inch Luan, and only edges can come into contact. So if you do two side by side, they have to be separated. They can't be touching each other. So you could, That's that'd be pretty cool. I don't know if cardboard's going to do it, but quarter-inch Luan or balsa wood or something like that, yes. It needs to be good enough to get you to where you can glue to it and it won't like come apart. I don't know if the edge retention is going to be good enough for cardboard. If you're using, if you get that industrial shit though, because I've seen cardboard that's this thick, it's like 3 inches thick. Doing trucking, that shit you can walk on. You could put like a 6 foot piece on two ladders and walk across it. That's kind of different. Um, anyway, I have a run of all thread going straight through one of my boxes. Yeah, and I considered that. I talked about it. I even talked about it in one of the lives or a video quite extensively. Doing all thread going through. I was going to do it going from the front to back. Like, uh, how did I have that figured out? Um, Two pieces between the top and bottom subs on that little triangle that's left right there between the subs and the port. I was going to run some straight through there um, to the back. It's very doable. And a lot of guys do it in SPL and big high pressure boxes. It works. The tricky bit is you've got to create a surface for them bolts to grab hold of, to pull against, that are actually strong enough to make it worthwhile. And the other thing is, boxes don't just get pressurized pushing out; they get pressurized pushing in too. This is a misconception. So your all thread is going to have good tension strength. Its tensile strength is going to be really good, but its compressive strength, it's going to have to be pretty thick to have a compressive strength that'll be able to handle the vacuum when a vacuum hits, to keep it from bowing the metal and making it spring up like this. So that would be the catch. And it would have to be some pretty significant stuff. It'll have lots of good tension, and compression is good too, as long as it doesn't deform and move out of the way. It's got to stay locked in. So there's a lot of engineering challenges in that, but it is a very reasonable. I would say it's a very reasonable way of solving the problem. You just got to remember that for every push, for every pressurized, you're also getting a vacuum, and the vacuum is just as destructive as the pressure wave. Um, Joseph said, truck under lithium 10K is listed as um, negative 30. Yes, absolutely. Um, at negative 30 Fahrenheit. Yes. It handles extreme cold to 130 Fahrenheit. Yep. They designed those cells for a Chinese military. So, it's Siberia, man. I mean, it's like it's like Alaska. China is like the southern part of Alaska. That's where China is, uh, and Russia basically is in Alaska. I mean, it's in the same thermal area. Um, the word I'm looking for, longitudinal position. It's cold there. Anything that's built to work in that environment is going to handle wintertime, no problem. Um, but yes, so try to do cross spacing whenever possible. It's the strongest, lightest, and takes the least amount of airspace. Dowel rods, yeah, dowel rods are good. Again, though, don't forget that compression, and tension and compression are the key. Everyone thinks about the, the compression or the tension. Everyone thinks about the pressure inside the box, but your brain typically forgets trying to pull a vacuum also, and you've got to handle both of those. And then not only are you doing both, but you're doing them back to back. It's like the thing that you use to break stuff is to like wiggle it in the same spot back to over and over again, right? That's literally what's happening to the entire enclosure. Every single spot, the weakest spot, is getting wiggled, getting worked every time. Um, both one way and then the other, and an extreme amount of pressure that's getting applied to that. So yeah, both ways. Yes, the 5K is the same cells. Bobby B. El Fuego is talking the smack about Bobby. T. Corley missed some videos, had to back up. I have some strong wood I might use across the back off a pallet. Yeah, sure. Pallet wood. Look for fir. You can. Well, you're going to find multiple types of wood, but fir is a fairly soft wood, but it's extremely resilient. It's easy to work with, and it's strong. It's not as rigid as some of the other woods, but it's very strong and very resilient and easy to work with. Thought about the box. That box was built for different subs. Yeah. That's what I used, by the way, on the back of my box, those little pieces. That's all pallet wood. I recycled pallet wood for that. Got the Sundown X8 to work with. Try cardboard 0.5. Gotcha. That'd be cool, man. That'd be cool. It's gonna be interesting. I can see it happening. You may wind up banding it, like doing some steel banding, like you use in the factory to pack shit, the banding material. That might work for keeping it together. I don't know. You may also work with something like Shugu for glue, because Shugu has a mild amount of flexibility, sets up pretty fast, and it would work good in that porous material pretty well. Yeah, I mean, depends on how much you want to do. I mean, you can always fiberglass the box, but then is it cardboard anymore? You know, it's like what? Where does it? What are the rules? You know, half-inch thick. Yeah, that is that big stuff. I'm familiar with it. Let's see here. Also, a temporary box till I get different subs. Yeah, battery and subs. I thought about thread. Thought about all thread. Probably for the next box. Yeah, you just got to get the big ass washers so you have something to good enough surface area. Jason, sub D. Okay, sub Dynaman arches. D. Arches and braces have their place in architecture, but I don't see the application from the subwoofer box. Well, I do. Now, depending on exactly what you're doing, just because something is shaped like an arch doesn't mean it is an arch. For example, on DIY Audio Guy did an arch in one of his boxes recently that I watched. And it does the job. It's nothing wrong with it. It works fine and it looked really nice. But the box, the piece went up on both sides and squared off and went across, and then it had an arch-shaped cutout. And he was touting the strength of the arch. That's not where the arch gets its strength at, the cutout. The arch gets its strength from the structure going on the outside. So and the arch is only strong in compression. Only, period. And it's very strong in compression as long as you maintain the shape of the arch. But having an arch-shaped hole doesn't make the piece it doesn't make it stronger. You could use a square hole and get the same basic concept. The only advantage you would get is you wouldn't be creating weak spots where, like if you had corners, airplanes, windows, they're rounded because square windows make cracks in the fuselage. And honestly, that is a very, very valid comparison. So, because an airplane cabin literally has to pressurize and depressurize thousands of times, that's literally a really, really good way of looking at it. So, if we take that mentality into consideration, having our surface have any square or any corners, any weak corners where the wood comes together, is going to create a weak spot in that fuselage, which is the enclosure. Which, yeah, Kicker wouldn't like this argument at all. It's like it's square speakers, man. It's not. You're creating the front, but yeah, they're rounded. I know. I'm just poking fun, but it's something to consider. Now, with a cylinder, if you notice, all air tanks are cylindrical. They're not square. They don't make square air tanks because that's the dumbest thing in the world. Well, if you're building an enclosure that's designed to both be taking pressure from the outside and pressure from the inside back to back, a cylinder is going to be the best shape because it can't expand anymore without being destroyed. And it can't compress either because everything is as tight as it can get. The shape is already as small as it can get on the long section of it, which is why base cannons are really cool. You can make the base cannon out of a really thin piece of material because it can't compress anymore and it can't expand anymore without being destroyed. It's naturally the right shape, right? But it doesn't sit very well at times to roll around. The shape doesn't work well in a car because it's a tube, you know. Still, let's consider that. What if the box was built out of, the whole box was built out of a big piece of, sonotube, fiberglass resin on the outside of some sonotube? That'd be interesting. It's something to think about. Big, huge piece of PVC. It's not going to compress, and it's not going to expand, which means it's naturally going to be the right shape. Um, I love thinking about things that way. I don't like to be stuck in that box. I like to think outside the box. My whole brain just works better that way. Uh, yeah, isn't it funny how that works? They're really close when they get to that point. Um, I'll assume that you have washers and bolts both inside and outside, right? Because you would need that. Like I said, the only problem I have with it is the possibly trying to compress the all thread is having the middle of it like a bow. So you may have to run it through a center part, like a piece in there that's fastened that the bolt can run through the middle of to keep it from wanting to, do this while it's being compressed, while the box is getting a vacuum so that it's not doing this stuff. And you can have something in there to stop that, to keep it from resonating at that frequency. And that's exactly what would be happening if resonating. Joseph, can I get away with leaving my main lead acid under the hood and running it in tandem with the truck tunnel lithium 5K in the back? Yes. It sets at like 13.2, 13.1. And your lead acid, is going to sit like in the high 12s. They're not far apart. So it'll work fine. As long as you're not letting it sit for months at a time, like 2 or 3 months like that, you're fine. It'll be fine. And Bobby says going on 4 years, but yeah, he's only been actually working on it for 6 months. Get it done. I like Bobby's style, man. He's got this mentality. He's like, I ain't in no hurry. I'll get it done when I get it done. And the thing is, man, when it comes to this kind of stuff, the build is the part that you enjoy. That's the part that fulfills something. So, the best situation is for you to have 2 base vehicles. 2 base vehicles, totally separate, where you can have one that's up and running so you can go do shit in it, and the other one that's in the constant state of getting done. And then when you get it done and get it ready to go, absolutely perfect, then you tear out the other one and you switch them out. You always got one you can work on and one you can base in. That's the perfect situation for a base set. Arches and triangles. Yeah, I got you, man. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Uh, D. Wilson, yeah, both sides, top and bottom. Never had an issue besides grabbing the carpet. Oh, yeah. Shit. Leaving a dent. Let's see here. It's the old Mario and Luigi box. Hell yeah, dude. Bazooka tubes. Yeah. That's why I said the bazooka tubes. Some of the best bass I've ever heard was in a bazooka tube. Not in a bazooka specifically bazooka tube, but in a style like that. Um, having that extremely controlled pressure is going to give you a really, really accurate reproduction. I mean, your cone is not going to be. It's going to be under full control. You're not going to be getting any kind of resonance that's coming from the enclosure making noise. Um, it's pretty freaking cool. Pretty freaking cool. Jason said, I don't know about that hot glue. I wouldn't trust it to last. Well, it depends on what you're doing. If you're building a cardboard box, hot glue, I wouldn't go with. Like I said, shoe glue is what I would probably choose. Shoe glue is tough. It's sticky as shit. It still has a teeny bit of flex in it to allow a little tiny bit of movement. And it's very it's good for porous surface. We used to use it to stick batteries together, to glue parts together on our RC cars that we raced. I mean, I've seen that stuff take stupid amounts of abuse. It's really good stuff. And it's inexpensive. Get it at Walmart in the shoe section called Shoe Goo. It's a go-to product to fix so many problems. I've repaired so much crap with that stuff. It's like the duct tape of glue. Struggling between running a bunch of relays and switches and the ridiculous amount of wiring involved. It's already purchased. Or buying an RBX4 for $200 and calling it a day. I'm guessing that's one of those switch boxes, the remote control switch boxes. Man, the easy road, but is it the rewarding road? That's the question. That's the only thing I'm going to say about that. I see the easy path. It'll be done. But then I see the rewarding path. And the rewarding path means you got to put in more work. But you're going to have something at the end that you can stand back and look at and say, I made that. I didn't just buy it. I made it. That's my thoughts. But I get it, I get it. If you got more time than money, then you got to do it the hard way. But if you got more money than time, you do it the fast, easy way. You buy it, install it, and go on about your business. Everybody has a different budget, and it isn't just about money. Your budget is your time. Your budget is your physical budget, your money budget, your time budget. And everything that you do and every decision that you make has to take into consideration what your budget is for all those things. Like me, I have a very limited physical budget. I can't do a lot. I have a whole lot of time. So I have a big, huge time budget. I have a very small physical budget and a very small money budget. Okay. There's other stuff to consider too. I mean, how much stress do you want to put into it? How much time do you want to thinking about it? How much, effort did you want to do? But there's budgets for everything. There's tons of them. And all of those are going to dictate exactly what path you take whenever you're doing this stuff. When I was still driving a truck, it was easy. I would drop my truck off at the car audio shop, and I'd have one of them give me a ride out to my company, and I'd hop in my big truck and jet or I'd have them come down there and pick my truck up and take it back. Call them up and say, yeah, I want this and this and this. Be like, okay, it's going to be this. All right, man, make it happen. I come back home, pick my shit up, and go home. That's how it was because I had the money to do that. I had no time, zero time, because I wanted to come home and just chill, right? Because I was out, running 3,000, 4,000 miles a week. I wanted to come home and rest and base and enjoy my shit. So I just threw money at it, and it happened, right? Now I'm completely the opposite end of that spectrum. So it all depends on what kind of budget you have, how you do it. It doesn't make you better or worse or less of a man or less of a car audio guy or more of a car audio guy. If you pay someone to have your shit built, or if you pay to have it designed and you build it yourself, blah, 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 blah. None of that matters, man. It's all about working in the budget that you have to work with. A Fuego, I missed that. Hold on a second. Building a T-line enclosure. Yeah, that's really cool. A piece with a 6.5, 6-inch PVC pipe, 20-foot long. That should work. Or 20 inches long. I think that's 20. So 6.5, a 6.5. The rough number. Oh God, I'm gonna get in so much trouble from making this statement. But I'm gonna make this is a rough statement, kind of a rough statement. You can figure about a foot for every inch of speaker, which in your case, it would be 6 foot long for a 6-inch speaker, roughly. Okay, there's a more fine measurement in there. And then, of course, the speaker needs to be, the tube or the chamber needs to have the same cubic inches of surface as the moving part of the speaker does. So to get it exact, you would probably need something that was less than the 6.5 inches, a little bit, because you're measuring from the center of the surround on both sides. That's the size, and then it needs to be roughly a foot for every inch of. And again, there's better numbers. This is a ballpark, so you can go, well, I got a 10. How much? That's a 10-foot long tube, man. That's going to be in that ballpark. But yeah, they're really cool, and it's a very ambitious build, but very cool. Mr. J, hello. What's up, man? Nice to have you. I'm running 2 DD1506 subs. Okay, trying to put that together in my head with 1600 watt amp. And have noticed that some songs, they bang while others seem like I don't have any subs at all. Wow, man, that could be a whole lot of stuff. Like, there's so much information that I need to dig into to find out that problem. I would say, based on the fact that you did not provide the information that I need, based on that, you probably have a port issue. Your port's probably tuned really off to one side or the other. I'd be just guessing, that you've got a decent box with a really high tuned port that you picked up for those subs. And so whenever it starts playing the lows, your subs unload and you're not going to get any output from it. That's my guess. There could be DSP issues. There could be, tuning issues of all kinds. There could be crossover point issues. There could be so much different stuff. The most likely thing is your port's tuned too high. That's my guess right off the bat. Fuego, I dig it. No. Okay. All right. Let's see here. RBX4. That's. I'm 99% sure. Yeah, it's a little remote. Basically, it's a switch panel that has either a wire or a wireless connection back to a relay box. So you install the relay box back where all the stuff is you want to happen, wire it all up to that thing, and then you've got a panel that you install up front that connects to it wirelessly and allows you to control all the relays in that box. Yeah, it's like Bluetooth relays and switches, essentially, and it's very clean. Um, let's see here. Sub Man, Mr. J, need more info. Yeah, that was my thing. I bet you I'm right though. That's the most likely culprit. 4-channel relay box. Yeah. Yep. Oh, it's a sparked one. Well, you are going deep, man. My van's stock alternator burned up the other month on the Doja Cat rebase. Oh, I bet that was hitting hard, man. Immediately bought the JS320. They shipped it so damn fast. Yeah, they didn't want you to try. They didn't want you to back out. It's like, oh, we got money. Get it to him before he takes it back. I like JS alternators, man. I'm just giving them shit. I had 2 12-inch triangle bazooka subs. The factory boxes. Oh yeah. Good times, man. And narrow frequency band response to the sub enclosure order vehicle. Jason's gonna stay on top of this. He's enjoying this one. He's giving you some good information. Let's see here. Oh no, Jason bailed. You run. Man, you're like doing stuff, and then you took off. You're gonna leave the guy hanging, man. What the hell? Let's see here. Well, let's read what he put in here. This is good information. Get a frequency generator app and run through all your base frequencies, 20 hertz to 80 hertz, and see where it's strong and where it's weak. Yes, that's a good call. And he's telling Anthony it looks like a nice unit, meant to be showcased. Yep, looks cool. If you're going to hide it, I buy a basic relay board for $10 and build it myself. Yeah, following you, man. For a T-line, your length is your tuning frequency by quarter wavelength, 12 foot by 30 hertz, roughly 20, around 16 hertz. Yes, this all accurate. Like I said, there's a more accurate way of putting it, but what I was saying, to figure about an inch per foot is a ballpark number to kind of give you an idea whether or not the thing's going to fit. It's going to be pretty close. I've done the math on them, and it's not too far off. But with a T-line, you really want to get it as close as possible. You want to be out on the money, and even then, you're going to wind up having to add backfill in there to prevent standing waves from causing resonance peaks and resonance troughs. It gets very complicated. But essentially, the best T-line I've seen is once you get your length right, your pipe determined, or your tube or your chamber, we'll call it a pipe because that kind of gives you the idea. Once you get that figured out, you bring your speaker back 2/3 of the way. So this is your closed off end, and then down here is your open end. You come back 2/3 of the way, so you're a third away from the closed off end, and then you polyfill inside that closed off end up to where the speaker's at on the side of that, and it plays into that. That's going to give you a pretty good starting point. So you fill up a third of the pipe, and you move your driver back at 2/3 of the way or a third of the way from the closed side out. It's always thirds. That is, and the resonances will work with that. Without trying to go crazy, because that gets really complicated. And I can only go so deep before I'm talking out of my ass. Invert them bad boys, he said. Fuego said, I bought the RBX4 channel when Spark Dead used to build them in the garage, and it was only $75 back then. Yeah. El Fuego said, did I pick up 1,000 subscribers last week? Hang on. I can actually tell you what I did. So if we go back to my analytics page and look at the last 7 days, in the last 7 days, I picked up 1.9 thousand subscribers, almost 2 in the last 7 days. I had 27,000 views, 991.4 watch hours, and made right at $100. Yeah. So yeah, almost 2,000 in the last 7 days. I have 20-inch piece of pipe for each. Is that what you're saying? It's got to be. So I can cut. Oh, a 20-foot piece of pipe, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what that is, man. I'm too stupid. I keep wanting to say it's inches, but I'm thinking you meant foot. Some bitch, you're confusing me. You're making my brain hurt. Let's see here. Mr. J said, we see want to find out what's going on now. Thank you for the information. I'll try all of this and then come back with what I found. Just to add, I have a 2015 Kenwood stereo that has 5-volt RCA out. The sub box is tuned to 32 hertz. Okay. Okay. Yeah, do a sweep and figure out your peaks. You could use an RTA or RTA app to see what the peaks are, but your ear is going to be your friend in that. Just sit there in the seat and listen to where it dies off. But then beyond that, you're starting to get into stuff that's going to require a constant back and forth. So throw it up there, and we'll try to help you. There's a bunch of us in here that'll try to give you good tips on it. So just be sure to include all the information whenever you have a question, and myself and others will jump in there and try to give you the best possible advice we can. That's what we do as a community. Subdino Man's already hitting you up. 20 foot each. Okay. Thank you for clearing that up because my brain was having a hard time with that one. Let's see here. What's up, Anthony? Hey, man. Exactly, El Fuego. They're expensive now, but the ease of use, quality is nice. Wiring switches are just ridiculous. Hell yeah, dude. I told my wife earlier, I said, you know what I want? She's like, what? I said, sloppy joes. She said, I said, I want some of that really beefy. I want a beefy sloppy joe, not the soupy one. I want it to be, I want a lot of meat in there. She's like, okay, I got it. She made me some sloppy joes. I hadn't eaten yet, so I'm going to eat after this show. Once I start eating, my body can't do anything. I'm completely screwed over at that point. Subdino Man said, yeah, I purposely had it done for them. It's prefabs or not ideal. Absolutely. The prefab is, well, it's not so much the prefab that's the problem. It's the fact that it's a generic enclosure. It's not built specifically for a subwoofer. And you really have to do that. Sometimes you get lucky and then the enclosure just happens to be pretty damn close to the right specs, and so it works. But if you're buying pre-made boxes that are just generic boxes, typically you get really screwed over on those. But you got a custom box, that's killer. If you run into an issue with that, you can always hit up GP, look for their true spec boxes. They sell them spec'd out to fit for specific subwoofers. And they can also do custom built boxes there as well. And the prices are not terrible. Prices are pretty good. GP Car Audio. Just look at their flat pack boxes and their custom true spec boxes. 2 different sets of boxes. was thinking an older radio, I might need a line driver. That would be a possibility, man, but it's not going to be something that's going to change from one pitch to another, where you can hear it good here, but it sounds like crap there. That sounds more like a tuning issue because it's going to be specific to certain uh, notes. Um, there also may be the sources. If you're listening to music on your phone and then you listen to music off, on the stereo, you're going to get different sources, and they may have different EQs and different levels set up for that. There's possibilities of that stuff, but I'd say I'd have to just hear it, man. That's a really broad. That's a broad. That's like saying someone my belly hurts. That's a lot of possibilities down there, Um, is it a sharp pain? Is it a stabbing pain? Is it like, it's hard to take that. You have to really get specific about stuff. Let's see here. I was thinking about older line driver. I like line drivers. I like high voltage going to my amplifier. Not all of them will accept that these days, though. Some of them have gotten really wimpy about taking in high voltage. Was it some of those sound digitals and some of those guys? You can't give them more than like 4 volts, or they scream. Thanks, Franco Quaid. Yeah, hardcore, man, hardcore. What is the favorite part of my Tahoe? Now that I've pretty much redone the entire build. Favorite part of my Tahoe is the wind. Honestly, guys, I really enjoy listening to music in it, even if I'm not just slamming it and I'm just kicked back listening to, normal music. It sounds amazing. And that's way up high on my list. But my very favorite part, bar none, is it's this. That's my favorite part right there. That's my favorite part. 100%. The smile, the reactions, yeah, that's why I do it. That's 100% why it's there. I wouldn't trade that for nothing, man. Those interactions with people, and they come back. They come back. I had kids. The kids came back. Then I had kids at the show. They bring their siblings so that they can experience it too. The little girl I had in there, she jammed out in one show. The next show, she comes back and finds me. I'm out here walking around. She hunts me down, dragging her little brother. So I wanted to put my leg. She got in there, and I wanted him to get she came back and brought her family. This little, like, I don't know, 9-year-old girl. Dude, it's freaking awesome. That's why I do it. That's literally the 100% why I do it. It's for that, man. It's for that. Bobby B said, yeah, the glue it and screw it. So you got the glue it and screw it flat packs, and then you got the True Spec they actually built. They come already built. The glue it and screw it stuff, man, they can build you some really fancy stuff. So it's all going to just depend on, what you want, how much you want, but they can do some really cool stuff. But the True Spec boxes are pretty basic boxes that come pre-built, and they're built to the spec of the subs that, they're made for. You can get really good deals buying the subs and boxed together too. Solid kit. Yep. We'll be here. Um, very cool, very cool, very cool. Thank you. That's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about. And I appreciate you guys for stopping by. Oh, you know what? Yeah, we're going to do it. Let's get the duck out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. Out here banging up and down the street, slamming it to the ground. Big
Friday
subwoofers
night
are
at
getting
9,
loud. You
Sunday
can feel
night
the
at 7
booming
Central.
sound. Getting ready to go. Got it shined up for the show. Hours charging, amps are amping, gonna let the woofers blow. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one goes, and another one goes, and another one bites the dust. We got more at home. Another one bites the dust. Fires
It's
are
a
blowing
wicked
and the amps
badass
smoking.
duck,
Subs are cherry red. Let me keep jamming, gotta keep the bass fan gonna go hard till they're dead. Full power, gotta let it go. 20 hertz in the floating hair. Sparks are flying, voice coils are frying, and the smoke is in the air. Another one bites the dust.
Y'all be sure to love your neighbor.
Another one bites the dust. And another one goes, and another one goes, and another one bites the dust. Hey, we got more at home. Another one bites the dust. Got it. Got it.
Same bat time and same bat channel, baby.